presumably out of the building and into the night. Number 10. Dinner time. With two Barbie dolls in her hands, this little girl is as happy as can be. Her family is recording what should be a loving memory for them to watch over and over again with glee. Instead, if any of them ever watch this video again, it will be in sheer horror. The girl is in the middle of an improvised skit when her father calls something out to her. I think he is telling her to come eat dinner or something like that. Based on what happens next, it looks like the girl wasn't the only one who was listening.
Sara, ven comer!
As soon as the girl says something to the effect of "not right now," the Barbie snaps her head back and gives her a glare. Maybe the doll doesn't appreciate the disrespect towards her father, or maybe it's done being played with for right now. Either way, the girl throws both dolls into the air and runs away. Of course, this could be a fake video, but I'm not sure how you would make the doll's head turn like that. For one thing, the girl's hand isn't anywhere near the doll's head, and for another, you can see by looking at the doll's hair that no string has been tied around its head. Most people in the comments of this video think that it's real. Number 9. Fatal malfunction. This terrifying footage was filmed in an elevator in Chile. Jose Acevedo gets on the lift and presses the button. Little does he know that this will be the ride that changes his life forever. As soon as the button is pressed, the doors violently snap shut and the elevator lurches upwards. Jose knows that something is majorly wrong and immediately presses the emergency stop button. Instead of stopping, however, the elevator climbs even faster. There's literally nothing for the man to do except repeatedly push the button, while panicking as the elevator races up 31 floors in less than 15 seconds. Finally, he begins to swat at every button, adrenaline taking over as he desperately hopes that just one button will work and bring an end to this terrible ride. He is absolutely helpless and appears to be too scared to even scream. Unfortunately for him, the only thing stopping this elevator is the roof itself. The elevator slams into the top of the building at full speed, and inside, Jose's broken body slams against the crumpled walls. He survives somehow, but now he has severe head and leg injuries. Also, the damage to his spine means he is sadly unlikely to ever walk again. Number 8. The broken reflection. This vintage Japanese footage shows a little girl combing her hair while her mom films. She turns around to show off her new hairstyle, but when she turns back around, something weird happens. Look closely and you'll see that this girl's reflection does not follow her movements. When she turns around, the reflection stays in place. This footage would have been very hard to fake given the limited video editing capabilities of that time, but I guess it's still possible. Otherwise, this girl appears to have a very evil reflection following her wherever she goes. Number 7. The boss. If you've ever had a sadistic boss, then you'll know how bad they can make you feel. Here a manager walks up and throws some papers onto an employee's desk. She sits and thinks for a moment, then she gets up. It looks like she is going to the window for some fresh air, but the next thing you know, she has opened it up and flings herself to the pavement below. There is no sound in this video, so we'll never know what was said, or even if they were just actors. Despite receiving thousands of hits, this footage has never been verified as real. Number 6. Bubbles. Why are there bubbles in my pool? Craig Lear thought to himself as he looked into his backyard pool. He lived near a golf course in Lakeland, Florida, and he figured that someone must have knocked a golf ball into his backyard, causing tiny bubbles to float to the surface of his pool. He opened up the door and went to the pool's edge for a closer look. It had a pebblestone bottom that made it really hard to see into, so he had to stand directly over the water to look down. It wasn't a golf ball after all. Instead, it was a 300-pound killer reptile.
Oh, that's a big one.
After securing their children and their pets, Craig called animal control and had an alligator trapper come to his home. It took them an hour to wrestle the 9-foot alligator from the pool, and the whole time they didn't know how it was going to react. This story may have had a happy ending, but who knows how many more alligators are lurking at the bottom of pools in Florida right now, or if this one will ever make a return. Number 5. The Paulding Light. A group of people in Michigan are having a casual conversation outside when something unexplainable suddenly interrupts them. The cameraman immediately zooms in on the strange intrusion. This is the Paulding Light, an intensely burning white-hot shimmer that has no explainable source. As the people in this video are talking about what it could be, two more lights suddenly appear. The lights fade in and out as they move rapidly across the skyline. Sometimes it's just the red lights, and sometimes the single white light grows extremely large. The objects are moving extremely fast and even seem to be traveling towards them. Still, the group thinks that they are far enough away to be safe, and plus, they are right by their cars in case things get too crazy, so they keep filming. One person in the group is sure that they are watching the headlights of a car, but no one else buys this explanation because of the erratic way the lights are moving. Now, I'm not saying that it definitely is or isn't a car, but the point is nobody knows for sure what the Paulding light is or how it came to be. With that said, there are some local legends. Some say it's the lantern of a passed away railroad worker who was crushed on the tracks, while others say it's the Grim Reaper himself. I'm curious to read what you think it is after seeing this video. Number 4. Dark Skies. This video was recently taken in Malaysia on a cell phone. Whereas UFO footage is blurry and far away, there's no mistaking what this object is supposed to be in this video. The UFO passes over a house and then takes off in the distance. A short while later, this other footage was taken. The UFO turns sideways and appears to be observing them through a bright white light in the center. It regards them for a moment longer and then the video ends. Overall, it's hard to say if this is a fake video or genuine UFO activity. Most of the comments in the video tend to favor that this really happened. Number 3. Roadkill. This video starts off with two friends in a car. The passenger is trying to tell the driver how to get to a location where he found a creature that's beyond explanation. He tells him to make a left and they head down an old service road that's normally reserved for heavy equipment. That's when they see it. A carcass laying sideways in a puddle of mud. The creature is bloated and pink with tufts of coarse black hair that looks almost like quills. You can see two giant front legs and then two more sets of smaller deformed looking legs, meaning it has 6 legs total, and a long tail that is almost as thick as its body. It doesn't look like anything they've ever seen before. They touch it without gloves, and you can see that its blood has mixed in with the water. Many people have pointed out that this thing could have had some strange disease, and that handling it with bare hands was probably a bad move. But as they're touching it, they make another shocking discovery. The creature appears to have a stamp of inspection on its side, almost as if it was raised for meat. Judging from the plastic wrapped around its head, it probably fell off of a truck, which could mean that this strange species is a genetically modified organism that is being transported in mass quantities. Either that or these two friends somehow managed to create a very realistic looking prop. Fake or not, this is definitely a very creepy video that could very well be footage of something that the public was never supposed to see. Number 2. Saving the School. This video was taken on the Seattle Pacific University campus in Seattle, Washington. In 2014, a man went off his medications and shot up a college in Seattle after taking the life of a 19-year-old freshman and wounding 2 others with a 12-gauge shotgun. The psycho went into one of the dorm halls to cause more chaos. Fortunately, he wasn't able to get past the doorway thanks to the school safety monitor, John Mays. The brave student came charging around the corner barefoot with only an adrenaline rush and a can of pepper spray. John sees his chance to attack while the gunman is reloading his shotgun. He rushes around and unloads the pepper spray straight into the shooter's eyes. Then he takes him to the ground and disarms him. John quickly runs away and puts the gun away. Then he dives on the man and refuses to let go. What you can barely see is the gigantic hunting knife that the shooter was trying to pull out. If John hadn't jumped on him a second time, the man might have gone on a stabbing spree. He was sentenced to 112 years for his crimes. Before we get to number 1, if you've ever been curious as to what I look like in real life, then follow me on Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT with underscores instead of spaces. I also have a Twitter at YT_chills where I post video updates. I'd really appreciate it if you followed me, and feel free to send me a DM if you have any questions or suggestions. If you'd like to see more of these videos in the future, then hit that subscribe button because I upload a new scary video every Thursday. Number 1. Hell on Earth. According to the YouTuber that uploaded this video, what you are watching is the last moments of a scared man's life. The video begins in a hurry with a man on the verge of having a panic attack in his room. When he finally manages to stop shaking long enough to film, this is the first thing he sees. Arms are literally reaching for him through the ceiling. Each hand comes at him from a different angle, and they all look like they are doing something different. If this is CGI, it's very convincing. Smaller arms are reaching up from under the doorway now, as fresh ones extend from the wall. Suddenly an eye opens in the wall and stares at him once. He gasps and starts to cry. When he refocuses the camera, he sees some sort of tree object with him in his room. This is apparently the last thing he sees. Thanks for checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe because I upload a new scary video every Thursday. Or if you're still not convinced, here are some of our other videos that I think you'd like. Enjoy!